Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sarah, and in this video we are going to be choosing my September TBR. I'm so excited for this. So first, let's go over what I read in August, or my TBR from August. So my first throw, I got a 5-star prediction. And for that one, I chose The Enchanted Greenhouse by Sarah Beth Durst. No surprise, I did read this book and I gave it 5 stars. I can link the video down below where I am reading a few of these books that I'm going to talk about if you would like to see my full thoughts as I was reading them. My second prompt was a standalone, and for that one I chose The Poppy Fields by Nikki Erlich. I did read this one. I gave it 4 stars. It's in the same video as The Enchanted Greenhouse. Third, I had a book that was gifted to me, and for that one I chose A Witch's Guide to Magical Innkeeping by Sango Mandana. I did read this. I gave it 5 stars, and that one is also in the video that I already mentioned. For my fourth prompt, I got a mood read, and for that one, I chose The Third Rule of Time Travel by Philip Fracassi. I read this one for another video, and I loved it, and I gave it 5 stars. My fifth prompt was a Marmee pick, and for that one, my mom chose a Spells, Strings, and Forgotten Things by Brienne Randall. I started this one, but I have not yet finished it. I have set it down for the moment, but I do want to get back to it. I just haven't finished it yet. Also, for my TBR jar bonus picks, I had Twisted Love by Anna Wong, which I did not read. I had Love in Other Words by Christina Lauren, which I also have not read. Third, I had Deepest Blue by Sarah Beth Durst, and I haven't gotten to that one yet. I really want to, but I just didn't get to it. And fourth, I had Timeline, which was in the same video as The Third Rule of Time Travel by Michael Crichton. And I did read that one, and I gave that one 3.5 stars. So overall, I'm like 50-50 on my reading for the month. I read 4 out of 5 on my official TBR, and 1 out of the 4 that I chose from the jar. So not terrible. Now, for the fun part. Let's get into my throws for September. I am doing 5 throws. I have lots of plans, things I'm having to put off for later on, things that I'm wanting to get rolling right now, which is part of the reason that I set down Spells, Strings, and Forgotten Things. A lot of things in the works. So with that being said, let's get into our throws. Alright, for my first prompt, I got a book with cafe or baking on the cover, and there are definitely multiple options for this, and I had a really hard time with this because there is one that I have, which is The Pumpkin Spice Cafe by Lori Gilmore, that I do want to read, but I know that I have some other prompts that I want to fit that one in for. And so I ended up deciding to go with Midnight at the Blackbird Cafe by Heather Weber. I have had this one for quite a while now. I got it at the library book sale, and I've been really curious to try it out because it does say truly magical realism at its best. So that piqued my interest. And this one, it says, nestled in the mountain shadows of Alabama lies the little town of Wicklow. It is here that Anna Kate has returned to bury her beloved Granny Z, the owner of the Blackbird Cafe. It was supposed to be a quick trip to close the cafe and settle her grandmother's estate, but despite her best intentions to avoid forming ties or even getting to know her father's side of the family, Anna Kate finds herself inexplicably drawn to the quirky southern town her mother ran away from so many years ago and the mysterious blackbird pie everybody can't stop talking about. As the truth about her past slowly becomes clear, Anna Kate will need to decide if this lone blackbird will finally be able to take her broken wings and fly. So it sounds really interesting, and I'm definitely curious to try it out and see if I like it or not. I love magical realism, so if there is magical realism in this, I'm definitely curious to find out what that is. The The next prompt that I got is an epic high fantasy. I know that's hard to see, I apologize. With foliage on the cover. And this one I really debated. I was looking at David Douglas's Soul Keeper and The Tainted Cup by Robert Jackson Bennett. But the one that I'm the most excited for is the one that I chose. And for that one, I'm going to choose Shield of Sparrows by Daphne Perry. Now, I know this one is a romantasy, but technically it is still an epic high fantasy. So this one has the beautiful foliage on the cover. I don't have the pretty edition, which really sucks because it was gorgeous, but I'm so excited to read this book. I've heard amazing things about it. And it says, if you're not terrified, you're doing it wrong. Long ago, the gods unleashed monsters upon the 5 kingdoms of Calandra to remind us that humans are insignificant, that we must pray to the gods for mercy throughout our fragile, fleeting lives. I didn't need a deity to remind me I was powerless. Being a princess had never been more than a performance. 23 years of empty titles and hollow traditions. My sister revels in the spectacle, basking in the attention and flawlessly playing her part. I was never asked to be part of the charade, until the day an infamous monster hunter sailed to our shores, the day a prince walked into my father's throne room and ruined my life, the day I married a stranger, signed a magical treaty in blood, and set off across the continent to the most treacherous kingdom in all the realm. That was the day I learned that not all myths are make-believe, that lies and legends are often the same, and that the only way to kill the monsters we fear was to become one. This sounds so good, and I've heard such amazing things. I looked at this when it first came out, and then I was like, I don't know, I'm gonna hold off. And then I started hearing amazing things about it, and I was like, why did I not pick up this book? So I did, and I'm going to read it for September. I'm so excited. The next prompt that I got is probably the most stress-inducing one, but you can look forward to a fun video, hopefully, with it. And that is start, finish, and standalone. Yes, all 3. So I have 3 books for this prompt, and I'm excited. I tried to go a little bit easy on myself for this one, and so 2 of which aren't excessively long, but there are still ones that I'm looking forward to and kind of fit my vibe for September with kind of getting into the fall feel. So for my start a series, because that's what it is you have a start a series, finish a series, and a standalone, if I wasn't clear about that. So for start a series, I'm going to go with The Coven. This is by Harper L. Woods. It is really short. And this one is Dark Academia. It says, raised to be my father's weapon against the coven that took away his sister and his birthright, I would do anything to protect my younger brother from suffering the same fate. My duty forces me to the secret town of Crystal Hollow and the prestigious Hollow Grove University, where the best and brightest of my kind learn to practice their magic free from human judgment. There are no whispered words here, no condemnation for the blood that flows through my veins. The only animosity I face comes from the beautiful and infuriating headmaster, Alaric Grayson Thorne. A man who despises me just as much as I loathe him and everything he stands for. But that doesn't mean secrets don't threaten to tear the school in two. No one talks about the bloody massacre that forced it to close decades prior, only the opportunity it can afford to those future fortunate enough to attend. Because for the first time in 50 years, the Coven will open its wards to the 13 promising students destined to change the world, if the ghosts of Hollow Grove victims don't kill them first. So it does sound really good. I am nervous about this one, but this is one that's caught my eye since I very first saw it for sale at Target when it first came out. It's always caught my eye, and so I've always wanted to try it. So I think now will be the perfect opportunity to do so. Now, for Finish the Series, I am going to just finish out a duology that I am very excited for. I really enjoyed the first book. I have it back behind me, but I'm going to be reading Everybody Wants to Rule the World Except Me by Django Wexler. This is the follow-up to How to Become the Dark Lord and Die Trying. That book was so fun and funny, and so now that I have the second one, I'm really excited to pick it up and continue on. This one isn't as thick as the first book. I've heard that it's not quite as funny as the first book. I'm really excited to read it for myself and see what I think of it, and just finish this out and see what happens with Davy, and I just can't wait. So this is the one that I'm choosing for Finish the Series. Hopefully it's a win. And then last but not least, for my standalone for this prompt is one that I'm really, really excited for. Totally fits the fall vibes, and it's from an author that I've read from before that I really, really liked, and I haven't read anything else from her since then. And for that one, I chose House of Hunger by Alexis Henderson. I read Year of the Witching probably 2 years ago now, and that book was so well written and beautifully written that I enjoyed the heck out of it. It was a slower paced gothic style book, kind of giving me vibes of like Sleepy Hollow, the movie with Johnny Depp, kind of that slow gothic feel. Kind of gave me that vibe without the humor, but it just was so, so good, and I wanted to pick this one up for a really long time, and now that I finally have it, I don't want to put it off for forever, and so I thought this was the perfect way to fit this in to read House of Hunger. Also, it is pretty small, and so that's what I'm going to be reading for my standalone. So you can look forward to that video in September. The next prompt that I got, this one is a little bit hard to see as well, but that is foiling on the cover. And I mean, this is like the beautiful gold foiling on the naked hardcover. And for that one, I picked a book that I am so excited for. It's kind of a huge mix and match of genres, but it's another one that I've been really intrigued about ever since I first saw it for sale, and that's Heavenbreaker. So the end papers are gorgeous. The pages are gorgeous. And we have the foiling on the cover. This one is kind of a steampunk-esque sci-fi, similar to the Pacific Rim for the robots. It's a mix. So let me just read you the synopsis. It says, bravery isn't what you do, it's what you endure. The Duke of the powerful house, Hautclair, is the first to die, with my dagger in his back. He didn't see it coming, didn't anticipate the bastard daughter who was supposed to die with her mother on his order. He should have left us with the rest of the station's starving commoner rubbish. Now there's nothing left, just icy white rage and a need to make House Hautclair pay. Every damn one of them. Even if it means riding Heavenbreaker, one of the few enormous machines left over from the war, and jousting against the fiercest nobles in the system. Each win means another one of my enemies dies, and here in the cold terror of space, the machine and I move as one, intent on destroying each adversary, even if it's someone I care about, even if it's someone I'm falling for. Only I'm not alone, not anymore. Because there's something in the machine with me, something horrifying, something more, and it won't be stopped. This book sounds so good. I'm really, really hoping that I love this and give it 5 stars. I love Pacific Rim. I love steampunk type stuff. I love the fantasy romance. I love stuff in space. Like this book has so many things that I'm really, really intrigued to see how this author goes about it. Technically, this one is going to be a series, but Goodreads has absolutely nothing about the second book other than a title. So I'm really curious to see if I like this and if it's going to be something that will end up having a follow-up book or not. I don't know, but I'm really excited to read this. And last but not least, I had an orange cover. Now this one was also really, really hard to find. I had grabbed Spark of the Everflame because that one had some orange on the cover, and I do want to read that, but I have so much fantasy in this TBR that I kind of wanted to take a step back from that, and I wasn't really sure what to choose. But the one that I'm choosing, it's kind of a stretch to an extent, but it has the orangey yellows that I was kind of thinking for this prompt. And so that one is going to be The Invisible Hour by Alice Hoffman. This one is like a historical magical realism-esque, I believe, book. And I've never read anything from Alice Hoffman before, so I'm really excited to try it. I know she wrote Practical Magic and everybody loves Practical Magic, but I haven't read that. So this is the one that I have, and this is the one that I'm going to be starting with. It's also another little short one, kind of break things up a little bit with all the fantasy. But it says, from the one brilliant June day when Mia Jacob can no longer see a way to survive, the power of words saves her. The Scarlet Letter was written almost 200 years earlier, but it seems to tell the story of Mia's mother, Ivy, and their life inside the community, an oppressive cult in western Massachusetts, where contact with the outside world is forbidden and books are considered evil. But how could this be? How could Nathaniel Hawthorne have so perfectly captured the pain and loss that Mia carries inside her? Through a journey of heartbreak, love, and time, Mia must abandon the rules she was raised with in the community. As she does, she realizes that reading can transport you to other worlds or bring them to you, and that readers and writers affect one another in mysterious ways. She learns that time is more fluid than she can imagine, and that love is stronger than any chains that bind you. As a girl, Mia fell in love with a book. Now as a young woman, she falls in love with a brilliant writer as she wakes her way back in time. But what if Nathaniel Hawthorne never wrote The Scarlet Letter? And what if Mia Jacob never found it on the day she planned to die? Nathaniel Hawthorne wrote, "A single dream is more powerful than 1,000 realities. This is the story of one woman's dream. For a little while, it came true." So it kind of gives me vibes like of The Unmaking of June Farrow, which I read last year. And it was one of my top books of the year for like the majority of the year until like the very end of the year. And I absolutely loved The Unmaking of June Farrow, and it kind of gives me similar vibes to that. So I'm really, really excited to try this one out, see if I enjoy it. Hopefully I will, because I think that I could really like this one. And if it is anywhere near as good as The Unmaking of June Farrow, it'll be a great book. So these are the books that I'm going to be reading for September. This stack right here, is it ambitious? Absolutely, but I am so incredibly excited to read these books, every single one of them, and I can't wait. It's starting to feel like fall. It is currently raining outside, which we haven't had rain in a long time. It is raining outside and it's starting to get dark earlier. It is starting to stay dark later in the morning. And I'm just so ready for it. I'm so ready for it to cool off. Hunting season for bears starts in September, so my weekends are going to be packed with being outside. But I'm wanting to try and keep things as normal video-wise as possible. So, have you read any of these books? Which ones are you most excited to hear my thoughts on? And do you think I can do it? I really hope that I can. So if you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, subscribe down below. Thank you so much for being here, hanging out with me, and supporting this channel. And I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.